Hello. Oh god, we've got Grim Trickster in the chat. He's going to tell me I'm just a terrible person. I hope the economy is better. Oh no. Who's got to tell him, folks? I went back into danger like twice, but we're in unstable now, which is an improvement. But yes, hello everyone who is not watching the World Cup necessarily at the moment. I do have it in another tab. I may check in on it every now and then. But it's 0-0 for those wondering. And I don't know what it is, but I always manage to I think every stream I've had.
It is amazing.
Oh god, I can't have that. Right, I didn't realise that would make sound. So I don't have it open in another tab because refreshing it makes the sound come on, which I didn't want. Clearly Cero for 20 months member chat. Not even joking. 2010 fixing boomers' computers. 2020 fixing zoomers' computers. How is this my life now? Because you did the idiot thing and got techie like I did. World Baseball Classic is better. Well, you would say that as an American, wouldn't you? But hopefully we win. Reform Suzerain. Well, that is the idea. So let's get into it. See what we're doing, dealing with, etc. Alright. What was the last thing we did? Oh no, we're in danger. We're in danger. Oh no. Oh, I forgot it was that bad. Grim, don't look. See, when we started going up like that, I was like, yay, and free markets have made it go down. Which I suppose just means we're still in some sort of bus cycle. £10 from GooseSpringsteen, thank you very much. Watching the game and it's tense and dirty AF. New Suzerain DLC and the same universe game has been announced. Oh, well, Goose, you know what? You've been sending nothing but £10 super chats for like every part of this, so right. This lot of 3 is obviously Suzerain. Next lot of 3 will have Rizia. One after. Well, depends where it is, I suppose. I'm sort of hoping you play as playing Valgsland, because that's the communist state. That's sort of a satellite state, I believe. That could be interesting. So, what can we do there? Invitation to a movie premiere and whistleblower. Alright, let's hear what this high-level agent has to say. Oh, a whistleblower from Wimborg Security Bureau has escaped to Swordsland by crossing the border and turned himself to the authorities in Estord. Agent Chelston Hailstone, that's very British, has promised to reveal extremely sensitive information about the development of a weapons program. We can give refuge to him and risk antagonising Rumborg or send him back. Well, you know, it would be very nice to hear about this weapons program, which will annoy Rumborg, but they are being aggressive themselves, or we send him back and really say, you know, no crossing, you know, stop the boats and all that. We're going to grant asylum because that could be useful information. We do accept the whistleblower, you're correct. I hope that doesn't bite me in the backside, as I'm sure Grim will tell me it will. Right, let's go to the movie premiere. I had been invited to an exclusive preview of Alfred Kierbuck's new film, The Morning Shall Come. I suppose that's supposed to be Sordland's Hitchcock. Although I wasn't much of a movie-going mood, it will have been unprecedented not to attend. With its massive budget and Kierbuck's directional cachet, this drama was set to be a milestone for Sordland's burgeoning film scene. I'm not even drunk. I've been drinking nothing but water because I've still got a frigging gout, so... Which reminds me, there's probably going to be a lot of water stops this episode because I need to drink a lot. Personally, though, I was just looking forward to spending some time with my family. It was a very hot, sunny day as Serge drove us to the old capital. The film was screening in a historic cinema, Anglie de Earleroy. Oh, I hate that city. The very first cinema in Sordland. I gazed at the vast plains between Holsword and Earleroy, and we drove on the H1. Serge had maxed out the aircon to keep the Cadilla comfortable. Frank fidgeted with his tie as he stared out the window. It's the Commie Vagsland, I think. Oh, perfect, that's what I wanted. The other game is called Suzerain Wars, and I think it might turn into Strategic Tactics or 4X. Not bad. Yeah, there's a lot you can do with this universe. It's really good. It's a bit like, what you call it? Disco Elysium, except the guy that made that went mental, annoyed everyone at the game studio, and then corporations ran off with the money and the IP. What's wrong, Frank? Since when did you care what's happening in my life? You know I'll support you, whether you pass or fail those exams. I've been busy, or is it time for you? Well, I have been busy. I am the friggin' president. What an honour, your highness. Frank, don't talk to your father that way. He's been working so hard for this country. Yeah, don't make me angry. Frank turned his head away to look out the window. Turned to Deanna. Excited for the movie, sweetie? She nodded happily. What about you, Papa? You won something, right? You should smile and keep doing your best even if you lose. I won't lose, isn't that right, Monica? Of course. Let's just focus on having a nice time at the movies. Monica folded her arms and we drove in silence. Serge rolled down the soundproof glass between us. So, we're about to enter Earlroy. We'll be at the cinema in a few minutes. Hurrah, England! What have we scored? Yes he has, even if he is not very smart. Oh. Thank you, Serge. Took a brief look outside as Serge rolled the soundproof glass up again. I could see many towers of Earlroy rising over what was left of the old city walls. In the distance there were several planes flying towards the city. As they got closer, I saw that there were military planes and looked like a sharp-edged Acadian designs. We were probably headed for our new joint military base. Neat. You've been doing a job, yes. Wasn't your vineyard around here? Monica pointed at the hills on the outskirts of the city. It's not mine, it's ours. She did not respond. Serge knocked on the glass and gestured forward. My wife is in a mood 24/7, dude. We were at the main square of Earlroy, and the historic Cinema Angli, the Cinema of Angels, was right in front of us. Is this the place? Yeah. It was an old Baroque-style corner building with walls that looked like marble from a distance. There were exquisite ornaments on each side of every window. Serge pulled the car to the entrance of the building, which was lit by vivid neon stripes in many colours. On the wall next to the entrance, there was painted the words, "Stop the oppression of the Bloods." Other graffiti read, "Stop the genocide in Huelin," and "Axis of Evil, Smolok Rain, and Lancia." Oh, come on. Come on, let's get out. Serge opened the door and we exited into the red carpet. We were just about to enter the building when a journalist managed to block the path. Mr. President! Mr. President! Citizen journalist, out of the way. Your constitutional reforms made it through the Assembly. How did you feel about the chances with the Supreme Court? Trust justice will make the right decision. Court will vote my way if they know what's good for them. One way or another, these reforms will pass. I trust they'll make the right decision. Enigmatic. Stop it. That's too edgy. Sounds like it'll be hers shortly. Thank you, Mr. President. And are you aware that Tarkin Sol will be present at the proceedings? I refused to discuss Sol at this time. I had to find out from my driver. Of course I was. I'll just lie. Before she could ask anything else, the guards ushered her out of the theatre. In contrast with the cinema's Baroque exterior, the inside was modern and sleek, with bare walls painted in black, red and white. The film's cast and crew were already in the foyer with a glass of champagne in their hands. I know it's champagne, by the way, it's a Futurama reference. We approached the crowd and were welcomed by the producers and the event organisers. A man walked up with quick steps. Oh my god, how am I going to do this voice? Madam, Mr. President, it's good to see you here. There we go, I've chosen one. He gently bowed to Monica and shook her hands. It is an honour to meet you. I am Alfred Kierbuk. The honour is mine. I'm a big fan of your work. I'll say it's an honour. I'll be polite. Frank snorted. I glanced at him and he instantly took a sip of his cola. It is very humbling to know that you've been watching and enjoying my movies. If you don't mind me asking, which one was your favourite? And this one may be slightly different than my previous works. Swordist Dreams, Man Who Saved the World. Yeah, we'll do that one. He stared at me for a while as if he's trying to understand if I'm joking or not. That's by Mikkel Vargas, Mr. President. It beat my film The Swordfish Dream for top prize at the Benfi Film Festival last year. Well, that's embarrassing. Frank looks me in the eyes and struggled not to laugh. I earned that. Why don't we take our seats? It's about to start. Oh. Guys, I have negative aura right now. I am the president of Swordland and I have lost all my aura. I'm never going to recover from this. We entered the screening room, lights dimmed, and the film began. Period drama set in 1870s about a swordish soldier who pursued a doom romance with a widowed, bloodish farmer during the conquest of Bergia. Oh, it's lib stuff. I can't believe I forgot what happened if you take the whistleblower. That's double not good. Whatever. I wondered briefly whether Kerbuk was commenting on my own treatment of the bloodish people, but then he'd finished filming long before I became president. As the credits rolled, I made an early exit to use the men's room. I was washing my hands when I heard an unmistakable voice behind me. So, what did you think? Wow, he looks like General Shepard. He actually looks like General Shepard from Modern Warfare 2. Tarkin Sol leaned on his cane. He had the same frail appearance I noticed at the assembly meeting. Yes, up close I could sense the raw magnetism that had kept him in power for 20 years. I'm a man with negative aura. I had a man with negative aura, and this is a man with literally all the aura, despite the fact he has to lean on a cane. I am President Rain's shrinking balls. England scored. Nice. Found the plot questionable, but it certainly looks spectacular. Utter dribble, what about yourself? Dangerous pro-blood. Complete and utter dribble, I'll be an e-fapper. Sentimental pablum, for the enjoyment of housewives only. For a period piece, the script contained far too many anachronisms. Totes, or indubitably. We'll go indubitably, hopefully that doesn't mean that I still have negative aura. Surprised to see you still around, sir. What were you doing at the assembly hall? The country was about to make a rash decision, and I couldn't simply sit by. I still have immense respect for you. I wish it was reciprocated. Your scheme didn't work. Enjoy the power that lasts. It's not your good. Well, no, I still have respect for him. I like Sol. It will be when you prove yourself worthy of it. The true president knows when he must step down. Assembly considers me worthy. Why do you want these reforms blocked so badly? I will not let you, the bleeding heart idiot Richter, tarnish my precious constitution. Your constitution is ancient. You tarnished it enough with both of us already. My reforms will bring Swordland into the future. Yeah, I'm doing this for the good of the country. It won't help, but whatever. I can tell how the game is going by the sound of the next door neighbours. Oh, my window's open. Oh, I can't be bothered closing it. If they're loud again, I'll close it. Ah, some of his spittle landed on my cheek. Ew. You'll find out soon enough how your country repays you for your goodness. He slipped past me and out the door. Sole security staff and mine were now clustered outside the washroom, forming a buffer against the large crowd that had gathered. That's Tarkin Sol, I heard someone scream. His guards closed around him and mine around me. By the time the chaos subsided, I was back in the car with my family and Sol was long gone. Damn. What a melt. Investment surge boosts gas on. Okay, the economy is not affected by that yet. Rain and Sol meet at the... Oh, yeah, that's still Kerbuk screening. New law on education and Swordish language, I sign that. Swordland face mounting threat from BFF terrorists. Oh no. One film, two special guests, peaceful protest. Hey, we've got peaceful protest again. What are Rain and Sol hiding? Everything's a conspiracy theory. He doesn't like me. Rain signs racist bill. Well, I must have done something right. As disappointing as Rain's presidency has been, we never thought we'd stoop this low. The president just approved the NFP proposed law that made Swordish the only allowed language in all the country's educational institutions. Well, yeah. We're in this country called Swordland. What are you, stupid? Oh, that's not my country. Right, what's going on there? Ceremonial duty for Day of Dissension or briefing on the diplomatic strategy? Okay, we'll do Day of Dissension first. Morning haze surrounded the city of Dare as the sun dawned on the Day of Dissension, the holiest day of the Neurity religion. It celebrated the first message received from God by Saint Dast and his 30 disciples. 30? 30? That's just showing off. As per tradition, the celebration was held inside the arch sanctuary of the Dast Neurity, closed to the public eye. This year, however, for the first time ever, it was going to be televised. Ooh. It was Lucian's idea, as he saw it, granting people a rare glimpse of a grand ceremony and showing them how seriously their president took holy event would ease tensions lingering in the region. So we arrived at the large cathedral in Swordland, the largest, sorry. A huge crowd gathered around the convoy as our car pulled up to the entrance. This will work out, trust me, sir. Of course, that's only if the prayer is done completely correctly. Please don't forget the order. First, you will need to grasp the holy scepter with your left hand, touch the altar with your right, kneel before the archpriest, and wait for him to put the sword on your shoulder. Then touch the sword with the hand you touched the altar with. Hand the scepter over to the archpriest and receive the sword before passing it to a disciple. Jeez. Got me playing memory games? Do I just cheat and take a picture of this? Now remember. Pretty straightforward, isn't it? Right. Left hand on scepter, right on altar, kneel for archpriest, sword on shoulder, touch sword with the hand I touched the altar, so my right hand, scepter to the archpriest, and receive the sword before passing it to a disciple. I don't understand a word you just said. Yeah, sure. Very good. You'll have to go first. I will come inside later and we will meet up after your party's done. Good luck, sir. Exit the car. I exited the car and I was greeted by a chorus of cheers and camera flashes. I waved to the people as I made my way to the Grand Gate. Write this down? No. It's a memory game. I'm going to play the memory game. The Arch Sanctuary was a sight to see. Ooh. We got wind chimes. With its towering vestige, it cast a shadow over the large portion of the city. I had a crane to crane my neck to see the narrow spires at the top. Just standing next to it made me feel awe and dread in equal measure. As I reached the gates, I spotted my welcoming committee. The archpriest and his disciples were waiting for my arrival. At my approach, they all bowed their heads in respect. The archpriest gave me an infectious smile as he straightened back up. Tall and handsome, in his mid-50s, he was one of the youngest and more popular archpriests in history. Some of his more avid followers even likened to Saint Dast. Mr. President, praise God, it is a blessing to see you on our most holy day again. Welcome, welcome. The priests are Italian. Bow your head, archpriest. Yeah, I'll bow my head. I bow my head for the archpriest, which triggered a few murmurs of approval from the crowd. They were still cheering loudly. The archpriest turned and raised both his hands, and everyone immediately fell silent. Oh, great people of Swordland, once again we are gathered here to honour the Day of Dissension. I am indescribably happy to be sharing this moment with you as well as every blood and sword, old and young, turning into their television to watch this holy commemoration. Along with the leader of our great nation, I say, let the holy day begin. Stay far from evil, O sons and daughters, for evil hides itself under many disguises. Disguises such as blasphemy, apostasy, and even alcohol. Oh, what? Be good, my children. Praise God, praise Swordland. His smile beatifically. Beatifically? He smiled beatifically. And you smile beatifically. As the crowd burst into rapturous applause. After it subsided, he turned to me. I know what the beatification is, but smiling beatifically is a new one. Shall we move inside for your confession? My confession? Yes, just like last year, every man must confess before the holy ceremony starts. He led me through the main hall, which had a stratospheric ceiling and nearest icons lining the walls. He walked up a creaking spiral staircase to the top floor and arrived in front of the confession chamber. Right this way. He gestured toward a chair in a dark room. The room smelled of old mahogany and scented candles. The archpriest proceeded to light each and every one of the candles, one for each virtue and vice. I will be right with you. He left the room. A minute later, I heard the sound of a sliding window next to me. He spoke with a very soft voice. Suzerain, speak, speak and confess now before the one God, and may he repent your sins on the most holy day of dissension. I confess with shady dealings, bad husband, not sure what I'm doing for Swordland. I haven't smiled. I've done some shady dealings, yeah. We all sin at one point in our lives. Such is the human nature as deemed by God. We sometimes sin because of necessity, yet, like all, we must repent. Who was this sin committed with? Albin Clavin. Dreaming God. Clavin. I see. Must have been done out of necessity for the greater good. Anything else you would like to confess? I've been a bad husband. Family is the cornerstone of society. The watchful eyes of God, men are required to protect their wives and family. God created us as complex creatures. At times, conflicts rise above us. Tell me, what was your sin? I've been neglecting my family due to stress. I failed to support my wife at the Bentley Festival. Neglecting my family. Tragedy of neglect happens to all working men that feeds his family. Rejoice, God is kind in the matters of family. Is there anything else? I'm not doing enough for Swordland. You do carry a heavy burden on your shoulders. What you have confessed is not a sin, but you may share your burden with me if you like. I'm trying to reform the country, but I just don't think it's ready. Reformation is one of the tenets of unity. It must come surely but surely. Is there anything else? That's all. Lord God, I thank you for sharing. You are now forgiven before God and Suzerain. May you never sin again. The sliding window closed, the archpriest entered the confession chamber. For the confession to end, you must extinguish the candles representing each of your virtues and vices. With this, the once burning sins connected to you are now smoke and then nothing. Extinguish the candles. Well done, Mr. President. Let's move on to my quarters before the ceremony. Oh my god, I'm gonna forget the ceremony, dude. He led me through the 1,000-year-old corridor to his office. The smell of dust and old tomes was in the air, along with the scent of burning incense being prepared for the ceremony. Well then, please have a seat. The one chair next to him looked like it might turn to dust in a single touch. I sat down, gingerly. It was surprisingly sturdy. Are you ready for the ceremony? Absolutely. Very good to hear. He leaned back in his chair comfortably. I wanted to give you something. A gift. Celebrate this special day. He pulled out a large rectangular box from his desk. The box was lined with gold and expensive gemstones. A beautiful sight, isn't it? He opened the box and showed what was inside. It was a dagger. The handle looked like it was made of pure gold and had a very large gem at the end. On the blade, the words were inscribed, Victor and Sista. Victory is close. On the other side was another set of words, King Egmund. This dagger belonged to King Egmund. It is a very important artifact for the Kingdom of Swordland era. It's now yours, Mr. President. I can't accept this. Yes, you can, sir. It is yours now. Think of the past and think of who you are. Traditions are what brought us to this point. Nothing. It should be right about time. Oh, I got a dagger. No, stream's not stopped for anyone else. Seems like it's just you, Cero. Do let me know, fellas, if that does happen. A couple of knocks were heard at the door and a young boy came in. He bowed before the archpriest, then me, while letting us know the ceremony was about to begin. We made our way downstairs where the ceremony was already in progress. Choir sang angelically. See, that's an adjective. Yeah, adverb. As the archpriest took his position beside the altar. When they finished their hymn, an expectant silence fell over the room. It was time for my part. I started to walk and bowed as I approached the altar. Grab the scepter with your left hand and touch the altar with your right. Yep. Kneel before the archpriest. The archpriest laid his sword on my shoulder. Touched the sword with my right hand. Scepter goes to the archpriest. He gave me the sword. Passed the sword to a disciple. I got up and proceeded to my designated spot next to Lucian. He leaned over and whispered, "Compared to last year, that went surprisingly well, sir." Successfully partake in the Dissension Day ceremonies. Hey, look at that! My eyes met the Archpriest's and he very slightly nodded. The ceremony went on for another hour and a half. Finally, the noon bells chimed, marking the end of the cathedral service. We left the cathedral to greet the waiting crowd. As I stepped outside, I heard everyone cheering and chanting my name. Lucian's gambit seemed to have been successful. We waved proudly for a minute or two. "See, sir, told you it would work." We entered our cars and drove back to our suite in Dyer. President attends the Day of Dissension. Hey. Are you proud of me, Grim? Did I finally do something right? Right, what's our diplomatic strategy? Doors to the right room, like everything else in the Marine Palace main nerve centre, were painted white. Well, really. Took a deep breath before pushing them open. Time for yet another meeting, at least this time it was with people who liked me. The attendees rose up and rose up from their seats. "Mr. President." Yosef nodded. He and Lucian sat down when David remained standing. "Now that you are here, let's talk about the diplomatic strategy." David cleared his throat. "Mr. President, if I may." "Oh, excuse me. I would like to provide you with a short overview of where we are right now." Go ahead. "Although we did not make a trade deal with Agnolia, we succeeded in making one with Wellen, which means we have increased our presence in the region. The deals were an important piece of leverage and significant first steps into the global arena. We must now look toward the future." Well, what do you mean by look toward the future? David sat down, pulled out a few papers and started going through them. "Wellen and Agnolia were practice runs. We must begin improving our relationship with greater nations. We need to elevate our standing, especially with the threat of Rumborg looming." Yosef cleared his throat. "Thanks to your wise investment, Soldot's army is on its way to becoming a force to be reckoned with. Whether it's Rumborg or anything else, we can handle outside threats just fine. We don't need to beg for help from anyone." "Yeah, but being friendly won't hurt." "I agree. There's nothing to be lost by making alliances. Military's perspective is important, but these deals are more than just about gaining allies. We also need to consider the benefit to our economy such deals will provide, especially when we are still struggling to end the recession." David took a seat and brought out 2 stacks of documents. "At the start of our term, I had a comprehensive trade deal plan laid out. Following the visits to Wellen and Agnolia, we were to pursue potential trade deals with the 2 greater nations. Valgsland is one of them. If we can manage to get them to the table, there is much more potential here than in Wellen or Agnolia, because they are one of the most important countries in the CSP, the Security Pact. Deal with Valgsland is a ticket to bring Swordland closer to a united Cortana sphere. Yeah, but dealing with those countries is dangerous. A simple trade deal wouldn't cause issue unless we decided to go further. Moving on to Lesbia. A southern neighbour is one of the wealthiest countries in eastern Makopa. A trade deal with them would be very beneficial, not just for our economy, but also for the regional and international presence. Not to mention that they are in the Arcasian sphere. Because we would be following through with our promise to lean westwards, it would also strengthen our voter base. Indeed, this deal could also be the first steps in allying ourselves with Lesbia, or maybe even entering the ATO. Yes, it could open many doors, couldn't it? What do you reckon about the Tory MP Wets mostly avoiding deselection? They still rule the party, of course they do, 0 seats. Well, I'm pretty much with you. You answered your own question there. True, a country as influential as Lesbia could help elevate our economy. That's it for the overview. As the actual contents of the trade deal, Lucian pulled out a small notebook and quickly flipped through the pages until he landed on the right one. Looking at my stats here, we now have a small tungsten surplus, which makes an excellent resource for trade. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I need to know your decision before we can proceed. What should we do? Just do it for Lesbia. Excellent news. I will begin at once. That was all I had for today. Thank you for coming. Thank you, gentlemen. Yosef saluted as we left the White Room. Thank you, Yosef. You are very cool. Hey, look at that! Look at that! £2 profit! Oh, it's still as bad as last time. Come on. Isolated polio cases seen in Berger. Well, we knew about that. Oh. So, one says isolated polio, the other says they're exploding. Great. Oh, I'm going to visit Lesbia for a trade deal. Dinner with the family at home. Oh, I don't want to see my family. Fine. I arrived home from work, hung up my jacket and put my briefcase in the hall. Paused, awaiting my usual greeting from my wife and daughter. Diana was out at one of her after-school arch classes, I remembered, but where was Monica? From the living room I heard a muffled sob. I entered, and to find Monica sitting on the sofa, letter in her hands and despair on her face. Darling, what's wrong? Monica pointedly moved a few inches away from me and handed me the letter. It's from the Department of Education. Frank's university exams are in. How did he do? See for yourself. I looked at the pages below Frank's name and address. His score was written 435 points out of 1,000. Okay. That's a pass, isn't it? At university, that's 40%. It's a third, but it's a pass. At the bottom of the letter, the word failed was stamped in red. Oh dear. All those years of effort, private lessons, and it's all down the drain. You know what this means? He's going to have to join the military. He could die, Anton. Maybe it'll be good for him to learn. Does he know his results yet? He brought this upon himself. Well, it's good for him to learn from his mistakes. It isn't just about Frank, you know. Him failing will reflect badly on you and on us. I just don't understand. Frank is a smart boy. Why did he sabotage himself like this? Heard a key turning in the front door. Frank stomped in and was about to go straight upstairs when he noticed us both in the living room. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Wait for Monica. Your exam results arrived today. Frank sat down. Monica handed him the letter. He started reading it. Oh shit. Language. Not angry at you. Son, we're not angry. I need a moment. He went to the kitchen sink, washed his face. A moment later he came back. I never thought this would happen. I'm so sorry. It's my fault she'd been around. How could you let us down? You made your mother cry. It's not the end of the world. How could you let us down like this? No, I can't do anything right. Frank looked close to tears. Monica put her hand on his shoulder. It's going to be okay, but you really should have studied harder, Frank. I know. I guess it's the army for me then. So it seems. Anton, is there anything you can do? If Alfonso could get his dimwit son into King's Hill University, I'm sure Holsworth State would have room for a bright boy like Frank. I'm not going to take life lessons from Alfonso. I do have connections. Be nice to have him close to home. Well, it would be nice to have him close to home. Holsworth State would be amazing. A bunch of my friends are going there. I could still come home to do laundry. But I failed the exam. This sucks. Are you sure about this? Is it technically illegal? I won't influence your life. You've got to live what you've done. Also, state it is, though it is going to cost us a bit extra due to the privatisation changes. Go on. Second chance, you lucky little sod. Thank you so much, Dad. I won't let you down this time. Monica let out an exhale. What the day? Was hungry for dinner. Monica disappeared to the kitchen, Frank his room. I went to my office and began making some phone calls. There's a little square bracket called nepotism. I think you'll find that he is a daddy's boy. Enough with the bloodish protests. Oh no. Like the entirety of the Telegraph about the Palestine marches. Al-Shraf anniversary. Who are you? Bloodish Carpenter was killed by sword shoulders during the protests against the destruction of Ashdam. Well, he shouldn't have got in their way, should he? Education privatisation, are our children doomed? Nope. Dinner with Justice Isabel. Go on then. Nia Morgana had arranged a dinner meeting with Justice Isabel Edmonds ahead of our dinner. Nia and I met to have a talk. We were settled on a table in the second floor of Le Papillon, a world-class lesbian restaurant in downtown Holsord. What's this? Oh my god, so much growth. We sat the bar solo. It was a trip hazard in hell. Now the country's limbo dancing with the devil. Oof. The Tory party still to this day live in fear of the nasty party label, and it shows. Oh, Theresa May was the worst for that, definitely. Become a copycat, it will help. Okay, I'll see what you mean. Well, the whole floor was reserved for us, and the music coming from downstairs was enough to guard our voices from potential eavesdroppers. I still can't believe Saul came to the vote. I'm sure he has also pressured the justices of the court right after that win. I can't speak sense into any of them. What about Edmonds? Do you think we can sway her? Yes, I think she's our best bet. We have a meeting with her now, after all. She's not openly protesting against the old guards, but she has told me about her concerns about them. She's certainly open to dialogue, but also sceptical. She seemed to be scared of a potential purge against the court. Interesting, we should play into that. We can find common ground. That's what I hope for too. What's the atmosphere in the court? Most justices don't really talk when I'm around. They don't trust me as I'm an outside member of the court. I only knew about the 2 justices I mentioned earlier who are with me. So we have 3 votes there. We still need 3 more votes. Isabel can potentially bring 2 or 3 votes. That's why she is our ticket. The old guards are fanatically opposed to your proposal, so I doubt that there's any possibility there, but we might still need their help if Isabel can't bring exactly 3 votes we need. What about Haryan? I thought we could get him. Haryan is a possibility, yes. I dislike him, but if we really want to, I'm sure we might... I dislike him, but if we really want to be sure we might need him, a disgrace of a justice he is. What's also been doing? He's doing the best to organise the court against your proposal. The weakest link is Haryan, but the rest are unbreakable. We need to sort Haryan then. Yes, we might need him for the last vote. You should call Lucian. He has been trying to deal with him. Well, when will Isabel be here? She looked at her watch. 15 minutes? The waiter approached us, bowed in respect. Did you decide on the entree, sir? We have a guest coming, wait for her, not yet. What's on today's menu? We're in a meeting here, can you leave us alone? With a guest, so wait for her. Of course, sir. I will be around. He went downstairs. Nia took a sip of her glass of water and looked at me. Well, let's talk about Isabel a little bit. Let's try not to agitate her when she comes. We want the votes, so she already has that pressure on her. But if she feels cornered, we might lose her. So it's important not to put too much pressure on her. Agreed, we shouldn't scare her off. I disagree. Keep up pressure, let's not overthink it. Yeah, I think overthinking it's a bad move. Let's see how she's feeling when she's here. Suddenly I noticed Justice Isabel Edmonds coming upstairs. She was wearing a plain dark grey dress that hid most of her features. Oh, good to see you, Mrs. Edmonds. Nia got up from her chair to shake her hand and stand up for the handshake. God, how do you do this for? She just looks depressed. Mr. President, good to see you. Good to see you, Justice Edmonds. She took a seat across the table. How was your day, Miss Edmonds? I would normally say good, but this time I will take the liberty and say it was insanely exhausting. Heavy court matters again. Not that I'm complaining. Suddenly the waiter approached. Are you ready to give the orders, sir? Madame? I'll have the sauté perlas, please. As you wish. Mrs. Edmonds? I'll have the salad, thank you. Of course. And you, sir? I'll have salad too. Perfect. He quickly took a couple of notes in his tiny notebook. I'll be back shortly. He went downstairs, leaving us alone on the upper floor. How's the situation with the Supreme Court? It's just so busy. She moved herself on the chair to be more comfortable. You know, Mr. President, since you tried to intervene with the court's decision on Mr. Ezran, you've created some hostility against yourself among my wing. But, first of all, congratulations with the vote on the Grand National Assembly. I admire your struggle, especially because you were strong enough to include concessions from your side. You are really brave, Mr. President, trying to go against Tarkin Sol's Member of Honor's rights. But now you face the Supreme Court, and it pains me to say that your proposal has a very low chance of getting through. Well, not if you support us. I know. Perfectly aware you need us, so the current situation is clear. You need our wing to vote for you, otherwise all your hard work will be in vain. I'm not going to deny it. Well, I'm sure we can make some sort of deal. I'm not here to make a deal, Mr. President, I'm here to talk. I hope you're not thinking about bribing the Supreme Court Justice. Right. Who do you think we are, Mrs. Edmonds? At that moment, the waiter came back from downstairs carrying a plate of food. After seeing that we were in the midst of a discussion, he averted his eyes as he approached us. He started serving food and refilled the glasses, and he placed a plate of salad lukov in front of me. Very fresh and smelled of olive oil. I was very hungry. Bon appetit! Thank you, it looks delicious. The waiter bowed to us and quickly went downstairs. We wished each other a good meal as Isabel and Nia started to eat. So, Mrs. Edmonds, are you still thinking the same about the old guard? Of course, nothing has changed. That's good, we still have that in common. Doesn't mean I will accept any proposal the old guards oppose. Yet we must do something. You know that we need to change in our institution. Isabel took a sip of her water and turned to me. Tell me, Mr. President, what are your real intentions? Needed a better democracy. I know I can't do a lot, but I'm doing my best to start change. I want a strong Swordland. I'm trying not to lose support of the people. Oh yeah, I just want a strong Swordland. I don't see how this proposal helps with that. You mean, dude? But let's say this proposal goes through. What is your next move? Ensure new process are respected and executed. Further, focus on our internal and external threats. It's relieving to hear. I thought you forgot about all other issues. Isabel took a sip from her water and looked at me without saying anything. Miss Edmonds, please help us achieve this victory. We have to be together in this. What do you want in return for the centrist vote? Yeah, we have to be together in this. What are you doing? Perhaps that is why we must take... Perhaps that is the way we must take. Can you explain to me one thing? How do you think the Supreme Court's right to vote on constitutional amendments is a major problem with such priority? I thought we were... I'm asking, Mr. President, Mrs. Morgner. Why don't you ask the reformists this proposal was made together? The court has stopped every constitutional change. The judiciary could not have legislative powers. The point was a red line for Mr. Richter. Yeah, well, why would the judges have legislative powers? So that's your proposition, I see. I don't know what to say, Mr. President. It's changed on one thing, but you also lead an alarming narrative. I'm concerned about your heavy pursuit of capitalism. You're bringing Arcasia influence to Swordland. Weren't you for the free market reforms? Why are you against them? We need Arcasia supports a country that can be an important ally. Well, I don't agree with that. We're not their puppet. Yeah, we're not their puppet. We've got a strong enough army. Say that, but if we're not careful, we will become a puppet, Mr. President. I find growing Arcasian influence concerning. I support the free market reforms earlier, but you can't afford to be reckless like Alfonso. Nia suddenly cut in. If we were to come back to the point of unifying against the Old Guard, I want the Old Guard gone as much as you, but I am torn about this proposal. We're in this together, it will open for further reforms. Vote yes, there's not much to think. Yeah, we can go further with reforms. Mr. President, I'm also wondering, if you were in Sol's position, how would you have structured the Supreme Court? What do you even believe is its role? Advisory for legislation, power of judicial review, strike down laws that are against the Constitution, protect the Constitution. I'd have done the same with my proposal today. Yeah, strike down unconstitutional laws. So, what do you think about the judicial review? Plays an essential role ensuring that each branch of government recognises the limits of its own power. Precisely. Glad we agree on that. Isabel went on to finish the remainder of her salad. So, Miss Edmonds, what are you thinking? I want to help you, Miss Morgner, but... She took a sip from her glass. Well, I actually have to say this too. I am really surprised that the proposal is abolishing the Member of Honor title. I support that part. Are you planning to put Saul to trial? I have no plans. The important thing is that he will now be a regular citizen. Even though I'm abolishing the position, he must be respected as the founder of our Second Republic. Yeah, he's just a regular Polish citizen. I see. Anyway, I don't have much else to say. You have decided then. Let's see. Stay silent, yeah. I think I can get behind the proposal. Thank you, Miss Edmonds. I think I can get you the votes you'll need. I'll do my best to convince my group, but I can only speak for myself. Well, thank you. Great to hear. It's great to hear that you all support us. Thank you. I see that we finished our meals too. I think it's time to conclude the meeting. Thank you for inviting me, Mr. President. Thank you for coming. Just say a load of thank yous, whatever. Thank you for the meeting. Likewise. Isabel took her coat, walked downstairs, and you and I looked at each other. That's good news. It's great news. A few moments of thoughtful silence, we got up from our seats and left. It was a good start, but I'm still uncertain if Isabel would be enough. I got into the presidential Cadillac and Serge started driving me home. Ooh. Come on, man. Ugh. Reach out to Haryan. Yeah, alright. Bribe St. Lucian's and the vote of the Supreme Court draws near and we need to sway Justice Haryan to maximise our chance of winning the vote for the new constitution. After the initial rejection, we could bribe him, St. Lucian or Nia, to convince him to the negotiating table or just outright ignore. We'll St. Lucian. Announcement of the Supreme Court's decision. Oh, let's hope we've got it. Back at the office, I was eagerly awaiting for the decision of the Supreme Court. Regarding our changes to the Constitution, I stood up from my chair and looked out the window. Peter and Pascal were with me too. Peter was slouching on the couch on the right side of the office and staring at the ceiling. Pascal sat across from me and he was also eagerly awaiting the results. The press had been tough on us all, but now there was nothing left to do but wait for the justices to cast their vote. What do you think, Anton? Are we going to make history today? To be honest, I have a bad feeling about this. Yes, I'm sure of it. I hope so. We'll go with that. I hope so. So you trust Isabel will bring the votes? To be honest, I don't know. We have to hope for the best. Peter stared at the ceiling again. Our real worry is the Erin. I think we need his vote. Anyway, we'll learn about the vote soon. The session is already underway. By the way, what time is it? I looked at the tall clock in the room. It was already 20 past 11. The court's voting session was scheduled to end in 10 minutes. We have about 10 minutes. Okay, we'll hear about the results soon then. But anyway, he rose from his slouch and stretched. I don't know if you noticed, but Cero has been getting popular in the assembly recently. Our party's been supporting him on a lot of bills, some which have already reached you. What do you make of this? I think he's a very dangerous man, Anton. We can't let him divide our party. I've no problem with bipartisan bill passing. I really watch him closely. Don't make anything of it. It's expected to get the support from our Conservative wing. The party only holds 40 seats, Anton, yet he manages to pass bills. Oh, that man is trouble. Maybe we should allow our party to be so generous with what they support. Suddenly, Livia entered the room. In her hand was a large object wrapped in straw paper. Good day to you, Mr. President and Mr. Bennewell. Am I interrupting you? No, please come in. What's happened? The Chief Justice has sent you this. Show me the wrapped object. Do you know what it is? I don't know. Hinting, maybe? I'll just bring it to you. She walked up to the table and gave it me. I immediately started to remove the wrapper and revealed a framed photograph. It was an old black and white photograph of Tarkin Sol posing on a destroyed tank in Hull Square. The building behind him had 1,000 bullet holes in it and clearly readable slogan, "Victory is close," written on its walls. On the date, 14 March 1929 was written in the corner with a black marker. Turn to Livia. Did also say anything to you about this? No, but he's obviously trying to send you a message. Hi, Livia! Noticing Pierre on the couch, Lydia reddened slightly. She gave a small wave, which Peter returned. Mr. Vice President, I'll be leaving now. Have they shagged? As soon as she left the room, Peter came up next to me and took the photograph. It's a present. This must be some kind of message. What is it? Victory will be closer. Also's getting ahead of himself. Suddenly Lucian rushed in the room. Mr. President, the vote has been concluded. We immediately gathered around him. Congratulations, sir. The constitutional changes are finalised with 6 justices voting for the proposal. Yes! Peter jumped up and down like a kid. Yes! Congratulations, everybody. This is a historic moment, Anton. We've changed Seoul's constitution of 1929. I am without words. And this is just the beginning. Hell yes, it is. Peter approached to give me a hug. Yeah, go on then. You did well, Anton. Congratulations, sir. Today is a big day. Must also start preparing a speech to announce the changes. We'll go ahead and reach out to the cabinet and celebrate this together over a meeting. All of us immediately got to work to plan our next steps after the Supreme Court victory. Hey, I pushed through reforms, gentlemen. Look at that. Bet the economy's still garbage. Still in danger. Come on, man. Can you move? Still there. Presidential decrees are enabling that. According to both the articles of the new constitution, President will not be able to issue decrees that will carry the force of law without enabling that from the Assembly. No more honorary membership. President impeachable by the court and Assembly. Minister proposed by the Assembly. Oh, I hated that one, but I had to concede it, didn't I? Presidential vetoes can be overruled. That's going to get incredibly annoying, I can tell already. After the Grand National Assembly's approval of the proposed changes, the Supreme Court was voted in favour. Yeah. Cool. Right, gentlemen. I'll be back in a couple of minutes because I just need a drink. So, enjoy seeing the spinning city. Look at this. I'm back, baby. Right. Cabinet meeting. Lucian stood upright, holding a large folder of files under his arms, and he bowed in acknowledgement. He looked exhausted. The cabinet has gathered in the White Room, sir. The Vice President will be opening this session soon. We can go in whenever you're ready. Anything you want to say before we go in? I only want to congratulate you again, sir. You wrote history. I literally couldn't have done it without you. He bowed his head. He gestured to the door. Oh, he is far too humble. I think we should go, sir. Vice President Vector must have started this session already. Lucian held the door for me. We both left the office for the White Room. When we entered the room, Peter was speaking to the cabinet members who were already seated around the table. As soon as they noticed me, they all stood up. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter turned towards me. Everybody except him took their seats. He stood right next to the chair in the middle. And here's our president. He held out a chair for me to sit down and smile. Please, I sat down. We'll let Peter talk. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to discuss our current status and plan the remainder of our term. I know some of you have had your concerns about our style of governance. There will be a time to speak up about this in the meeting today. I must also thank you for your hard work so far. You're very lucky to have a team like this. All of you have been invaluable to the administration. To be fair, that's pretty true. Lilius grimaced at his remarks, or whatever. We said that now we have reached a critical point of our term. Nearing the end. Oh, God. You've successfully made changes to the Swedish constitution. It's a historic accomplishment, but without this team it couldn't have been possible. The new constitution has brought us one step closer to the Swedish dream. We should be proud for having strengthened our democracy. Our success with these changes has brought with it great support. A party which was divided at the beginning of our term has finally come together once more. So let's start the meeting with a brief look at the reports. He fumbled with a stack of papers in front of him. According to the latest polls, we have seen a decrease in our popularity. The public opinion has shrunk since we took office. He took out a piece of paper from the stack and inspected it. A major concern of the people was the state of the economy. We are slowly slipping into a depression. This will have dire consequences for the administration, but we mustn't lose hope and give it our best. Sutherland needs us more than ever. It doesn't feel like I've had a 4-year term. Our democracy. Peter turned to me. I'll give the word to the President now. He sat down. Thank you for opening, Mr. Vice President. Yeah, I want to talk about our new focus and plans going forward. Public opinion is concerning. We must set the focus on campaigning. The state of our economy is concerning. We must achieve quick economic development. We need to become an economic powerhouse. Yes, we need to become a powerhouse. Everyone seemed to be in agreement with me. Let's move on with the meeting. I want to hear a brief report from each ministry. Peter gestured at Simon and immediately stood up. Mr. President, dear colleagues, Mr. Vice President was pretty on point with his summary of the current economic status. He also used the word depression. He couldn't have been more correct. Our GDP has shrunk by 15% last year. Oh, God. The downward trend has broken our economy over the last years. We cannot contain this in time. We will end our term, in the truest sense of the word, in a depression. Thanks to our balanced budget, we are eyeing a manageable increase in our national debt at the end of the term. My economic projection holds up along with the current trends, of course. On the other hand, unemployment has seen no positive change. There's been an increase in joblessness. It's now at 26%. How has that happened? We've lost control of the situation. We caused millions of people to lose their jobs. Is there more to it? Well, I don't want to get into too much detail right now, but apart from all that, I'll finish with an update on our latest project. The manager reported that everything is going well and fast with the monopod. I'll keep it brief for the sake of the whole meeting and then my report on that note. Your concerns have been heard. I will also keep it very brief, Mr. President. The trade deal with Welland increased our agricultural exports from the Dojo region. Our farmers are still suffering. Our ministry did its best to give out subsidies to local farmers, but our agriculture production remains the same. Oh, for God's sake. That will be all. That was it. Yes, we can have a separate meeting to take a deep look at the numbers in the ministry if you'd like. Alright, we'll do that. Mr. President, our state facilities require immediate attention. We're experiencing long lines in front of hospitals everywhere. We're also currently investigating some reports of small polio outbreak in a village called Haimir. I believe we can get into more detail in our policy meeting soon. Good, let's move on. The Ministry of Defence has a very important report regarding our situation with Rumbog. The investigation showed that Rumbog was in fact weaponizing rebels against our state. We have learned that we may have been aiding the Bloodish rebels in Welland too. Our military must stand ready for any possible attack coming from Rumbog. We have gathered intelligence regarding their ministry research and production. They are building a massive army. Urgently need to increase our own military production. We cannot let them threaten us like this. Use the necessary arrangements. Mr. Lancia will have to use whatever we have to its limits. I don't think we should escalate. Let's refrain from sending them a response. No, let's escalate. David stood up. Mr. President, Perla has agreed to begin deal negotiations, and we will be moving on with that very soon. Cooperation with Welland and Sutherland has increased to a new level. However, we are seeing its negative impact with Lesbia. The region is very unstable. With incidents at Rumbog, Welland and Highland, we must be very cautious. We can talk more in detail about that at the foreign policy meeting. Thank you, Mr. Visky. Kiara. Our ministry is working day and night to improve our education system and increase its accessibility. We've since built 100 new schools and improved accessibility. accomplished a lot with our new curriculum. Our reforms will be greatly improving our output as a society. Lilia stood up. Mr. President, there is an important report from our intelligence officers. We've disrupted radio signals of several active Bloodish Freedom Front militants in Bergia. There seems to be some sort of preparations going on. We might need to implement some new measures soon. We'll provide you with more detailed reports at a later date. Unfortunately, after the departure of Governor Braun, the situation in this special zone has barely changed. And despite not following the extreme policies of her predecessor, Governor Krull is continuing with the discrimination policies against the Bloods. I'm afraid if this continues, we will have a major problem on our hands. The reports of the BFF organising its forces is very concerning. Luckily, I have some good news about the abolishment of the Bergia Special Zone. Apart from a few small details, the project is ready to be implemented. We can get rid of this governor soon. I'll send the final documents for you to sign, Mr. President. Great work as always. One more important thing. I would like to transfer to Gendarmerie under the Ministry of Interior to improve the internal security efforts. If you need more help, I can arrange a transfer. Oh, I didn't mean to press enter. Whoops. I wouldn't have brought this up if it was not necessary. The Ministry of Defense should not be meddling with the internal security affairs through the Gendarmerie. Is that like the internal police force? Armed law enforcement organisation, there you go. We have several instances where they were too violent too quickly, and it stems from the military officers giving reckless orders. Well, it might be necessary then. It will eventually cause a problem between our forces. There are already miscommunications going on. Will you transfer me to the Gendarmerie to the interior? Will you transfer the Gendarmerie to the interior in the future? Well, I can't make that promise. Yosef would be furious. That is unfortunate. She smiled faintly. Nia stood up. Since the removal of Governor Brum from office, there has been some positive results for our Bloodish citizens in Bergia. However, Krull seems to be looking for new loopholes to continue the racist policies in different ways. Mr. Urson gained a lot of popularity from his fight against Governor Braun, and is now leading a peaceful ground movement against Krull. According to court rulings, Krull cannot resume Braun's oppressive policies, but with Mr. Hawker leading the court, finding loopholes must still be a possibility. I'm afraid if Mr. Krull retains his position for long, we may see tensions rise again. I'll get rid of the governor after I sign off the project. I hope so, Mr. President. I believe that's everything. Gus, stay behind. Mr. President, a quick word regarding the investments I arranged. Your vineyard in Erleroy has begun producing some wine. I've arranged for several tasting sessions in order to sample the product and give ideas on how to improve the quality. In a few years, the vineyard may even challenge its regional rivals, but it will need some further attention to rank among Sworland's best. I'm happy to support Swordish business. They're happy to receive support. Truly a two-way street. Pleasure doing business with you, and Erwald sends his greetings. I left the White Room and headed to my office. The last 2.5 years have gone by so fast, right? So we're either halfway through or just over halfway through. But that's not good. Nah, come on. That's still under construction. What have we got next? Address to the Nation speech. Let's do it. Lucy and I walked into my office in the Marine Palace to make my address to the Nation speech. It was unusually crowded today. Cameras, lights and microphones were set in place and the crew was standing by, ready to start filming. Are you ready, sir? I'm always ready. Good, I think the crew is ready. As soon as you take your seat, we can go live. I took my seat and rearranged my notes on the desk as a crew member powdered my face with cotton puff. After everybody was ready, the director gave the sign to start filming and I looked directly to the camera. Brothers and sisters, I'm grateful to earn the honour of finally modifying, and I'd like to speak to you about our future, about a great historic effort to give the words freedom and fairness and hope a new meaning and power. 2 years ago I spoke to you of change and we've accomplished this. I'm proud of what our government has I accomplished what I told you I'd do. Our change is a continuation of what started 3 decades ago with the fall of the monarchy. You need to remember where Sworland was 2 years ago. Those days behind us and the change we brought has been real. Probably shouldn't say that when the economy's bust. We transformed a system that had caused endless confusion and resentment to one that is clear, simple and fair. We made a constitution that no longer protects the rights for a select few but ensures participation of all. For the sake of fairness and simplicity and growth, we've radically changed the structure of our government. Yes, it's no longer confusing and internally inconsistent. I'm sure you have one question on your minds. Will our reforms help you? You bet they will. We'll see the democratisation of Swordland. I've spoken with and received letters from thousands of you. I know how hungry you are. Now we'll do the top one. We now ensure that neither I nor any other person who holds the position of President will pose a risk by ruling by decree. We eliminated the Supreme Court's anger on legislation and new ages of commerce. Do the top one. Personally, make sure every change is respected. Beyond this, we intend to strengthen the democratic freedoms of Swordish citizens. Yeah, they'll like that. We did all of this in a time of economic stress, despite every protest, voices were raised, blah blah blah. Yes. Economic stress, that's what we'll call it. Time to renew our faith in the system. New changes have planted the seeds for an untold future success. Oh, that's a nice one. Now we have our challenges. We will be focusing on Swordland's internal and external threats. Yes. Our nation is poised for greatness. Yes. Morning will come. Victory is close, and I'm glad to say that morning has finally come. Future light is in our hands. For a swordland of wisdom that honours the family, knowing that the family goes, so does civilization. Forest dreams in learning and hard work will do today. Courage whose servicemen and women, even as I speak, proudly stand watching the frontiers of freedom. I'll do that one because I know my military is very powerful. We've begun promisingly, but it's the beginning. Not here to congratulate ourselves on what we have done, but to challenge ourselves to finish what has not yet been done. Yeah, alright. Abogna Core Vector and Sister. Director gave the cut signal, cameraman stopped filming, my speech was finished. I bet the radicals hated it. Future lies in our hands. Yeah, that should help. Oh, just fix the economy. Man, what is wrong with you? Ugh. Revelations. Uh-oh. That's a book of the Bible. $100 killed in Helhiland. Oh, there were riots. Okay. Queen Beatrice demands reparation. Yeah, reparations for a century of old alleged war crimes. Pay. No. Walker wins Arcadian election, stabilising Ventry City amid economic stagnation. Cool. Banal's anti-piracy summit. Cool. Still not done. Come on, man, finish the port. Departure of President's son from home. It was a cloudy, rainy day in Holsword. The gloomy weather couldn't dampen my spirits. My constitutional response had passed in court and I'd won. It wasn't the only cause for excitement. In the Rain household, Frank was finally leaving. My son piled the last of his bags next to the door. Serge, the assistant driver, and the assistant driver were waiting outside next to the car. Did you pack everything? Don't forget to give me a call immediately after you arrive. That's like my mother. Mum, I'm moving less than an hour away. You'll see me all the time. I know, but it won't be the same. Monica helped put his backpack on while Serge started carrying the luggage. Made you a sack lunch. I'll get it from the kitchen. She dashed down the hall. Frank and I turned face to face in the doorway. Oh, I guess this is it. You'll do great. Thanks, Dad. He shifted his weight nervously. I hadn't forgotten what you told me about your university years. I hope Household State gives me a chance to prove myself in the same way you did. Don't model your life on mine or your own mind. Don't have to prove yourself to anyone, especially not me. Alright then. At that moment, Dina rushed to the door. Frank! Frank! I'm gonna miss you! I'll miss you too. Don't forget you've got to give Mum and Dad an extra hard time for both of us now. Diana nodded. Okay. Frank picked up his sister and gave her a big hug. Argentina won? Are you memeing? Oh no. Are you memeing? I have to check that now. You might be trolling me, is all I'm saying. But, you know, you're probably not. I don't know why you'd lie about it. Well, I do know why you'd lie about that, literally because of this reaction. Thought we scored. Oh my god, come on, Times. Thank you. Oh no, agony for England. No, we lost. Useless. I'm American, so I don't care. Yeah, well, I do. That's a damn shame. Glad I played this instead. Frank picked his sister and gave her a big hug. Monica appeared in the doorway holding a paper bag. Actually, in the other Discord. Oh, they better be having a go at him now. Everyone's having a go. Right, sorry. For people who don't know, in one of the Discords, the secret one, someone who always puts a bet on sporting events always loses, and he put one on England, so that's not good. So I'm just going to tell him that I hate him. So there we go. Anyway, back to the main event. Got the crust off your sandwiches, just the way you used to like. England blew it, took off forwards, brought on 2 defenders, biblical bottle. Oh, you love to see it. Not a kid anymore, mum. I can't, mother, pretend. Oh, Frank. She embraced him with tears in her eyes. Frank looked as if he was about to cry as well. Serge approached. So, as per the schedule, Frank needs to be at the Household State University to start his orientation in an hour. We'll have to leave now to make it. Thank you, Serge. Frank turned around and took one last look at me. Make me proud. Frank nodded before heading to the car. Serge looked at his watch. Time to go. Frank waved his hand as he entered the car. They were on their way. Monica looked at me as if she was going to say something, but she turned and headed inside. I watched the car drive down the road until there was no longer in sight. She didn't even say thank you. What the hell? Ego condemns the governor and threatens intervention. Cool. Serge is best boy. I do like Serge, I have to say. Discussion on changes to the law. Go on then. Lucy and I sat at my office waiting for Peter. I was at my desk and he was on the sofa, legs crossed. Weird detail. So, I have some good news for you. Mr. Hull and I have been working on several possible plans to boost the economy, as is our focus. He's currently compiling a very detailed report with suggested projects. Grim, I am just going to do whatever they recommend. I'll make sure you have a chance to see it. Looks like Mr. Vice President is late yet another time, he lowered his voice. Slightly concerned about Peter. He seems to have his mind occupied. He's been late to almost every meeting we've had recently. Nothing to be concerned, I don't know what's wrong, but I also do not appreciate him being late all the time. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. Peter, he walked inside, with files in both hands. Gentlemen! Why are you so late? We were stuck in traffic around Seoul Square. There's a whole gaggle of ladies trying to organise an illegal match. We had to wait for the police to show up. Placed his files at my table, took out several documents and organised them in front of me. I mean, that is a fair reason, assuming it's true. Here's everything, just as you asked. Our plans for our next reforms. Here are some suggested reforms. You can pass these with your decrees if you like. What are your thoughts, Anton? Let's go over the documents. Select up to 3 decrees to enact. Oh god, do that, yeah. I don't have sufficient... What? I don't have sufficient decree powers. Oh, thank you, reforms. Right, so I can do 3 of these. Supreme Council of Swedish Radio and Television. Freedom of speech is protected in Sweden, but with the rise of new media, private organisations gain a massive influence. In the new decree, we could create a government agency. No. Lower retirement age. Retirement age of Swordland has been increased to 65 in the 40s. The older voting blocks are requesting a decrease. No. Prescription medicine in Swordland is partially paid by the Ministry of Health. The price has even gone up due to privatisation. A new decree would allow all citizens to get their medicine completely for free. Trade and commerce in Swordland has few regulatory measures, resulting in unfair competition at times. New fair trade. What? Unfair Okay, a new fair trade can be established via decree to push for fair market competition by protecting local industries through new regulation. I don't like any of these. I don't like any of them. And I wouldn't mind 2 free prescription medicine. I'd sort of like throw a dog a bone there if I had 2 government budget I could spend, but I don't particularly want to. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Following brief discussion, I took notes about my decision. We decided not to sign anything. I won't force laws like Sol that it's the Assembly's job to make laws. Not in Swordland, but I respect your ideals, sir. We both respect your decisions. There's one more thing. You place a stack of papers in front of me. Mr. Graff has sent you plans for the abolishment of the special zone. You can still try running it through the Assembly if you decide to sign it. The Assembly will not pass it. I'd rather not take popularity hit. I won't sign it. Just sign it. Alright, it's the Assembly's decision now, but now that everything's settled, I should get to work. We'll catch up soon. Well, actually, we have 6 more minutes, but very well, let's call it here. Thank you both. The reforms are not good. That. Circling over Starport. Oh, that's even worse. Come on, man. Gas and financial report. Highly anticipated report from Gassam has arrived. Minister underlined the significance of this document as it outlines the return of our state-held shares, thus reflecting the recent performance of one of the nation's pivotal economic energy drivers. Treasurer will receive a transaction. Cool, thank you. Whatever. Dispute with the interior. Well, I know exactly what that is. Dispute with military. Shocking. Oops. Trade talks with Prime Minister Burgess, standardisation and unity measure. Full integration of Burgess into national government. Oh, and it's one off the national budget. Yes, please. Unity with Burgess, special zone abolish. Ooh, gas on profit stagnate, treasury to see minimal impact. Besides winning by elections, how are reform doing in Wales, to your knowledge? Close to the border you are, the better reform does. They do really well in my area, to be honest, so that's good. Trade talks with Prime Minister of Lesbia. The maroon train slowly started to move. The train had been in service for many years. It had 9 locomotives with 9 special quarters and an office. It's got 1 locomotive, it's got 8 carriages, I think that's what it means. As the name implied, it was painted maroon. Among camera flashes and cheers, we departed from Holsworth Central train station. Our destination was Perla, capital of Lesbia. The historic route we were using was called the Southern Express. We passed through Lesbian mountain ranges to the lowlands, with a short stop at the beautiful Cero where Lesbian security forces joined us. Looking outside the window, the difference in wealth between Valgan and Cero was extraordinary. I heard knocks on the door of my office on the train and Simon entered. Mr. President, have a seat. I wanted to have a quick chat about the Prime Minister Alvarez and give you a heads up. There's been some rumours about his domino in public appearances. What do you mean? He is known to have met with other state leaders while intoxicated on various occasions. Oh, he sounds like fun. Some even call him an alcoholic. Could this affect the trade deal? Honestly, I don't know. He handed over a newspaper. The headline was circling over Starport. This happened just yesterday. Apparently he was so drunk that he couldn't get off the plane on a diplomatic visit. After this incident, some say he is unfit to serve, but I don't believe that. Why? Although his premiership is riddled with these kind of incidents, I also heard he is a shrewd man. I can handle him. I do. Trust me, I can handle him. I do. I'm sure we will be fine, Mr. President. We're almost at Perla. I will return to my cabin now. I'll see you when we arrive. Our train came to a stop, waved to the crowd from out the window. The crowd of reporters that flocked over were pushed away by the lesbian security guards. We made our way to our cars and the convoy began in short trip to the Yellow House. The Yellow House was situated at the very centre of Perla, in the middle of a circular park that was off limits to regular citizens. The park was full of roses and small patches. The convoy came to a stop and I made my way to the entrance. The assistants directed me to a room to wait for the Prime Minister, Alvarez. After 10 minutes, there was still no sign of Prime Minister, and it was almost time for the meeting. My chair started to feel uncomfortable. I stood up, walked around the room, and looked at various items. Beautiful golden teapot piqued my interest. I'll inspect it. While touching it, the handle broke off. I looked around, thankfully no one was in the room. Leave it next to the teapot. Whoops. The door opened and Patricio Alvarez entered. Although I knew he was one of the youngest state leaders in the world, I was still surprised by how boyish he looked. At his age, he was leading one of the strongest countries in Eastern Bacopa. He was holding his head up like he had a headache and was stumbling. Upon seeing me, he immediately composed himself and we shook hands. He gestured toward the two couches and we sat face to face. President Suzerain, welcome to Perla. Good to have you here. I hear a lot about your successes. And I hear a lot about your successes. I try, Mr. Rain. I smelled the strong odour of alcohol. Don't say anything. Let's begin then. So you're here for a trade deal. What was it about again? Can you remind me? I wanted to provide Swedish tungsten in return for the lesbian capital. Ah, yes, right. Sorry, I've just been very busy lately. You know, being Prime Minister makes you pretty busy, so I don't have any issues with this deal. Except one problem. Well, your decision to join Smolak and the attack against the unfortunate Bloodish population compromised a lot of lesbian assets in the area. Not to mention the humanitarian implications. We had to do our duty and send aid to those who were displaced as a result. That's negatively affected Lesbia. Our economy was indirectly hit due to the destruction of manufacturing sites, in particular oil, which unfortunately means the price has gone up. Price will stay the same or there won't be any deal. Makes sense, I knew this was coming. What's the new price tag? Good intuition. I want the only thing that anyone could possibly ever want out of Welland. I want their oil. Go on. A lot of oil from Welland is passing through Swordland, and Swedish Petroleum owns most of the oil trade in Swordland. You see where I'm going with this? I do. I want you to sell me Swedish Petroleum or the deal is off. Our energy protection laws don't allow such actions. I can't comply. Thank you for coming this far to Pella. He got up and started making his way out the door. Hi, he left the room. Oh, come on, man. I probably should have just let him have it, to be honest. Failed trade negotiations? Come on, man. Private meeting with Peter. Stop shagging women. PM in yellow. Grim, I have no doubt you're going to tell me I did terribly there. It was dark, chilly evening when Peter called and asked if we should meet. He gave no detail. All he said was that it was important. I drove alone through Holsworth suburbs when I reached the meeting point, which was our old campaign headquarters, untouched since the night of the election. This was where everything began. I made my way up the staircase of the office building. The light in the second floor hallway was out, so I used a cigarette lighter to find my way to the wooden door marked 26. I pulled the handle but it wouldn't budge. The heavy door has always been a pain. Coming! I don't know why I made him a girl. Peter pushed the door with all his weight and it made a screeching sound as it opened. Without further ado, I bid you welcome to this grand nostalgia trip, hosted by yours truly, Pete the Vector. He made an exaggerated bow. Dust from the open doors was still settling. Feeling sentimental? Yes, I haven't been to this place in ages. I miss it sometimes, even the damn door. Come over here, you remember this? He walked over to the old desk and pointed to the gramophone that had annoyed our neighbours and kept us company for so many late nights. He flicked the switch and it filled the room with swing music from the 20s. What happened with the Welsh budget? A bunch of plied politicians were slating their own party. Honestly, I've not really paid attention, so I can't really tell you, I'm afraid. But the Welsh budget's always been dire, so they probably didn't change it because they just agreed with a load of what Labour did anyway. I'll be damned, it still works. Well, what are we celebrating? Life, my friend. He put his hand under the desk and brought a bottle out, took a swig from it and passed it to me. Aren't there any glasses? Well, this life is pampering you too much. Just drink from the bottle like the old days. Remember where we came from. Peter snapped his fingers to the music while going through the items in the room. It looked virtually unchanged. Come on, have a look around. See if it doesn't bring back memories. What's in the drawers? I walked over to the old desk, sat down on the squeaky chair and opened the top drawer. There were a few old coins, pencils, sheets of paper, and underneath them something caught my eye. Photograph of me and Monica sitting under a tree. Must have been 10-15 years ago. We look so young and happy. Monica would love to see this. It's fine. Look at little baby Anton. We didn't even have your iconic look. I'll take it. Storage boxes. One of the storage boxes I found heavy objects wrapped safely, so I unwrapped it. It was an emerald-covered statue of a goat, the symbol of Swordland. I remembered it was a gift from Brenda, one of the 53 election campaign assistants. It would look good on my desk in the palace. Brenda! Always sucking up to you. And where did it get her? I have no idea where she ended up. Take the statue as well. I lifted the storage box with the statue in it and put it near the door so I could take it on the way out. What records do we have? I found my favourite album, Mountains by Janet Gers, a set of plaintive folk songs that made me yearn for a countryside whenever I heard it. Ah, what the classic! You should mail that to Frank so he can learn what real music is. Yeah, we'll take the record. But why wouldn't I take this stuff? Enough, let's talk. Let's drink again. He took a big gulp out of the bottle and staggered to the side afterward. What are you hiding? Nothing. Let's go up to the roof. The view always amazed me from there. We went upstairs to the roof. The view was mesmerising. Buildings whole soul twinkled below us, and the stars shone bright in the sky. He sat and leaned against the wall. Right as I was starting to get up, I heard a sobbing sound. Turned to Peter and saw tears. I've not yet seen a night sky beautiful enough to make you cry. I messed up, Anton. Messed up big time. Evelyn's leaving me, and she wants a divorce. You two have had rough patches. I'm sure you'll kiss and make up. What did you do? I've been sleeping with Livia Sunno. Yeah, I know. I could tell. You've been what? I know, she's your secretary. I'm so sorry. Just Evelyn hasn't been the same since she lost her job, and Livia was giving me sultry looks from the day I hired her. You were away, I was drunk. One thing led to another. But she's more than just a pretty girl. She's smart and kind. I think we really connected. I like her too. It doesn't mean I break my vows and risk a scandal for a bit of horizontal polo. I know. But we're ending things. I told her it's too unprofessional and I want Evelyn back. It's too late. Still a chance could get her. I need to talk to Lucy, and I still can't believe this. I'll have you both fired. Who else knows besides me and the three of you? Nobody, I swear. There was an edge of desperation in Peter's voice, and he took another drink. How many years have we known each other? How many scrapes have we gotten ourselves out of? I can't handle this myself. Just trust me and don't bring anyone else into this. I turned to face my friend and vice president. The habits had gotten him dubbed the bad boy of swordish politics. When we were young and were no longer so charming and coming from a middle-aged man, yet he was still a capable politician. I couldn't ignore our long history together. We can weather an affair. You've done enough damage. Be blunt, fix us or remove you. It's only an affair. Thank you, Anton. That means a lot to me. Don't mention it, and I mean it, don't mention it. Without waiting for a reaction, I left the rooftop and made my way downstairs. On my way out, I grabbed my belongings and took one last look at the office. I'd been home to some happy memories for sure, but the visit had permanently cured me of any nostalgia. As soon as I arrived home and I headed up to my study, sat down and stared at a telephone. I'm not going to call anyone. I headed to bedroom without calling anyone. Peter and I will be able to handle this between ourselves. I slipped into bed, careful not to disturb my sleeping wife. Peter and Evelyn hadn't made it. Were we next? I couldn't sleep at all that night. Ugh. Not good. Come on, man. I don't want that. Illusions of progress. Purging a special zone dissolved. Bloodish community demands ignored. Oh, whatever. What is this stuff? No connections. Oh. Hello. I have collections, it turns out. Oh, sorry. So I've got an armoured iron radio. Oh, car keys. Oh, a dagger. Oh, it's a 3D model as well. Look at that. Swordish goat statue. Poem books. A wine bottle. Rain Vice. Yep, that's pretty much it. Cool. Right. Start of the day at the palace. God. I'm really not good at this. Whatever. Yeah, what was I supposed to do there? It's only an affair. Then again, I've got like 2020 brain on. This is the 1950s. It was early in the morning after my talk with Peter. The sun was just beginning to peak. I couldn't sleep, so I decided I might as well head to the palace early and get some uninterrupted work done. The palace was empty, bar cleaning staff. I entered my office and I was shocked to see Lucian there waiting for me. Ah, Mr. President. Good, I was hoping you'd be early. Well, this is ridiculous. Why are you so punctual? I have a sensitive matter to discuss. I have very good reason to believe your Vice President and your ex-secretary are engaging in illicit relations. What? Unbelievable. Sorry to be the bearer of this news. On its own, given Mr. Vectorn's established reputation as something of a playboy, the affair is unlikely to cause damage. However, a more troubling possibility has been brought to light. A recent conversation with Mr. Hailstone, or whistleblower from Rumbo, reveals that the presence of a spy within the Molewood Palace. I believe Miss Sono is on Mole. She has been using her relationship with Vectorn to gather information. That's preposterous, surely. I wish I was wrong, sir, but I've just come into possession of this. What the fear have got into him? He's fine. Lucian reached into his coat pocket and pulled out an audio tape and fed it into the real machine on my desk. This was recorded in the palace at 6:09 on the second day of your trade visit to Lesbia. He pressed play and I heard Peter and Olivia's voice. You sure everyone's gone for the day? Relax, Liv. You don't have to bend over backwards for my pal Anton tonight. Only me. Olivia giggled and heard the sound of kissing, then drinks being poured. I missed you in Benfi. Did he tell you why he decided not to make a deal with Lesbia or Vagsland? Is he not interested in forming any alliances? Something about staying as neutral as possible. Though even Yosef is saying that we should find allies to deter Rumborg. It seems like we're still got a shot with the superpowers, at least. We've opened to new lines of communication with Ventry City and Kyle. Just exploratory talks at this point, but they might lead to something deeper. Speaking of something deeper, Miss Sono. Lucian grimaced and switched the tape off. Is that your damning evidence? Think about it. Why so much curiosity about these particular alliances? Not because they could strengthen us against Rumborg. And that's not all. I found her resume on file, and there's a year-long gap between her finishing secretarial school and beginning her career. This would have been looked into normally, but Miss Sono was hired before the background check could be completed by Peter Vectorn. Just then there was a knock at the door and Olivia opened it. Good morning, Mr. President. Mr. Gláeddyv. I didn't realize you would be so early. Can I get you some coffee? Coffee would be great, actually. So she left to make coffee a few minutes later. She came back and served the coffee. Please have a seat, Miss Sono. She had a seat and looked puzzled. Is something the matter? Enough pretending. Your secret is out. I'm not sure what you're talking about. You know perfectly well. She buried her face in her hands. Sorry, Mr. President. I was foolish and Peter was so nice to me, but it's over now and nobody ever needs to know. It's not what the President means, Miss Sono. We're referring to you being an intelligence agent for Rumborg. Olivia sat up and looked shocked. On me, Mr. Gláeddyv, but are you feeling alright? It's fine. What do you have to say for yourself? Mr. President, I understand if you don't want me to keep my job, but why smear me with outlandish accusations? Miss Sono, indulge me for a moment. What were you doing in the year 1951? Her face flushed. You must know I was working as a cigarette girl at Porto's. It is a Locrian saloon. I was saving up so I could afford my own place in Hulsel. Here's the proprietor's number if you need to double check. She scribbled the telephone number on a piece of paper and Lucian snatched it up. Why are you asking about alliances? To tell the truth, Mr. Rin, I was hoping to run for office myself someday. I wanted to make a real difference in the world, like Miss Morgana or Miss Wilder. I guess I messed up by getting involved with Peter. Now they're all just going to say I slipped my way to the top. How do you know about that conversation? There was a loud pouring at the door, pounding on the door. Peter barged in without waiting for an answer. Unshaven and wore the same clothes the night before. Oh, God. I came as soon as I heard the three of you were in here. Answer, what the hell are you doing? I told you I had this under control. Well, Lucian already found out. Peter took a seat at the far end of the sofa, looked at Olivia and noticed a troubled expression. God, why in the fall of her? This is a mess. She did nothing wrong. Well, there's a small chance she could be a spy. What? I have reason to believe she is relaying information to Rumborg. Information that you leaked to her in your carelessness. He threw around the tape, played it again as Peter listened, his eyes widened. Lucian, you rat bastard! You've been bugging my office! Well, I'm sure there's an explanation. Both Peter and Olivia were glaring at Lucian now, and he looked unrepentant. I had noticed the Vice President's behaviour becoming increasingly erratic and unprofessional over the past months, and I wanted to get to the root of the cause. So you wiretapped your own goddamn colleague? What, so you could be getting off to this? You pervert. Certainly not. I believe that along with the Rumborg whistleblower's admission that there is a spy in the palace and certain gaps in Miss Suno's resume, that the tape makes a compelling case to investigate the Secretary for Espionage. Whether or not the investigation yields positive results, Mr. Vector ought to be held accountable for his willingness to divulge sensitive information. He ought to stand trial or at the very least resign. Peter's jaw dropped and Olivia stood up. If I may, Mr. President, I have been paying attention to what goes on in the palace, not because I'm some sort of agent, but because of genuine interest. Hard as it may be for you to believe, Mr. Glad. She scowled at Lucian and he turned back to me. And from what I've seen, this man has been attempting to undermine your Vice President at every turn. Perhaps with the goal of replacing Peter himself. Oh, I'd rather have him. Peter's your lover, it's ridiculous, never make Lucian. Lucian has been nothing but loyal. Loyal to you? It's true, he could never stand me, Lucian frowned. My personal misgivings about Mr. Vector aside, I would never do anything to harm this administration. Mr. Vector, on the other hand, has at best committed adultery and at worst delivered state secrets straight into enemy hands. Who could I believe? Can I speak with you alone? Peter and Olivia, please wait outside. We'll try and talk We'll do the polite one. What are you going to do, Mr. President? You're the strategist here, not me. Honestly, I ought to fire you. I'm not investigating my own sector, I won't play into your hands. I believe we should investigate, to be honest. I appreciate your trust in me. But what about Mr. Vector? What will you do about his willingness to compromise Sutherland's security at the drop of a pencil skirt? I'd settle that with him personally. Yes, I'll settle that with him personally. Very well. Just keep in mind you'll need him. You need him to shoulder the blame for this. My apologies to Miss Suno, and tell her this has all been a misunderstanding. We can't have her running away during the investigation. I'll do it. Too suspicious of you. Very well, sir. Lucian gave a slight bow before he left the office. I sat myself for a while, wondering what exactly I'd set in motion. Grim's gonna say I made the wrong choice. The affair segment just reminded me of the clip where John Major walks around Yorkshire saying into a microphone, I've had a banging week. If you know, you know. Oh, goodness me. Come on, economy. What are you doing? Result of the affair scandal. Go on. This will be fun. Oh, I did good. Oh, excellent. That's very, very rare from you, Mr. Grimm. Several days have passed since I ordered the investigation into my secretary. Both Peter and Olivia have acted unnaturally nice to me, believing I let them off the hook. They seem to be avoiding each other in the hallways. I was just settling in behind my desk when Lucian knocked on the door. So, a moment of your time. Come on then. Our security team travelled to Gláeddyv to speak to the owners of the pub Miss Suno named. They confirmed that one Liz Suno had worked there. The description of her did not match that of your secretary. However, it did match that of an unidentified corpse that washed up in Lenka Bay 2 months before your inauguration. Wow. Well, who's the woman working for me? Further investigation by our operatives in Rumborg matched Miss Suno's description to a woman named Ilana Vance. Last seen graduating from Crimsrad Political Science Institution. A whistleblower from Rumburg recognized the name Vance as belonging to deeply embedded covert agents, although he had previously assumed it was a man. The lying two-faced succubus. What a line. You're right, I should never have doubted you. The lying two-faced succubus. To be fair, Miss Suno is just doing her job. Your vice president, on the other hand. But none of that can be helped now. The question is, what are you going to do, sir? Well, give me advice. The standard procedure will be to try Miss Suno for espionage, and if we do so, it's only a matter of time before media pieces together what happened. What if there were no trial? And you'd do what exactly? Knowingly let her return to Rumburg? That would damage us even further if the truth got out. You must remain in control of the narrative, Mr. President. Start by letting Peter Vector take the fall. I know you think it'd be better that you be US Vice President, but I'm not feeling enough. This is my fault. I know his actions were problematic. Problematic is an understatement. Oh good, you're not lying, thank God. Mr. Vector put you in danger by failing to order a background check on your closest personal staff. Betrayed your confidence to a woman with whom he was committing adultery. Anson, would you do the same to your so-called best friend? No, I wouldn't. I am your chief strategist. I've advised you on what I believe is the best strategy. But of course, the ultimate decision is yours. Scapegoat Peter is an annoying prick. Very well. I'll write a statement for you to read at the press conference. I'll leave you to handle Miss Vance. Thank you. I called Carl Greaser from my desk to explain the situation. After a few minutes, I rang for Livia. I see. She entered my office. Is there something you need, Mr. President? Please sit down. A barely perceptible flash of fear crossed her face as she sat. Why did you call me in here, sir? I noticed toward my office doorway, Carl Greaser was standing there along with two guards blocking the entrance. Ilana Vance, you are under arrest on suspicion of espionage. Please come with me. Her eyes darted around the room. What the hell is going on? Mr. President, have you let Lucian get to your head? I thought you were smarter than that. If you thought I wouldn't trust my closest advisor, you're the stupidest one. I mean, yeah, to be fair. Carlsman grabbed her arms and began dragging her out. No, you can't do this to me! Peter heard her cries and rushed to his office. What the hell? Anton, what's going on? Her name's Ilana. No, that can't be true. Can it, Liv? I won't say another word without a lawyer present. She looked at Peter square in the eye. Except this. You're a sad old drunk and a lousy lay. Same. Honestly, if I were a Rumburg spy, I'd barely have it to do a thing. You two have Solent ripe for the taking. She straightened up, ran a hand through her curls, and allowed Carl to lead her away. Peter sank to the floor. So what the hell just happened? I'll tell you in my office, but take a moment first. You believed him? Better safe than sorry, especially after what she called me. At least we finally have this ordeal behind us. Let's get to running the country, shall we? Well, I have to tell you something. What is it? I want you to resign. I guess I deserve this, don't I? Yes, your philandering puts us all in danger. So sorry, Anton. I was never cut out for this job. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Sure was, old buddy. You'll have some time before the news goes public. I suggest you get your affairs in order. Stay for a drink. While waiting for him to answer, I poured some whiskey. Peter grabbed the bottle instead. In your beginnings, he drank a third of the bottle in one long swig, then got to his feet unsteadily and made his way to the door. I knew it was for the best, but I hope my friend will be alright. There you go, Grim. Are you happy? Are you happy, Grim? Did we do good? Oh god, I'm getting mad at this now. National security breached. At least we dealt with it. Political briefing meetings, go on. This morning, sunlight streamed through the windows as Lucy and I entered the White Room. I sat down and Lucian remained standing. I'm afraid I won't be able to join you for the meetings today, sir. The business surrounding the Livia Sono affair is taking up my time. He dropped the thick folder in front of me. I was hoping to go over the day's agenda with you before the cabinet members began arriving, but duty calls. He walked out, I took a look at the folder, and then the coffee at the carafe in the corner of the room. Walked over, poured myself a cup, wondered who my new secretary would start work. Internal affairs were the first on the list of items. Ulias and Nia, along with their close staff, joined me around the table. They cast an eye around the room. No new secretary yet? I hope this means Miss Sono's replacement is getting an extremely thorough background check. Needless to say, such egregious breach of security should be met with harsh consequences, but you know that already. Shall we begin? Well, I hope it's any good news. I want to congratulate you again on your historic accomplishment for the Bluds in Swordland. Thank you for approving my plan for the revocation of the Special Zone. The internal security of Bergia has already been dismantled, but the local forces will be integrated in the Swordish police force. Thank you, Grim. I hope you're not lying. Is Peter B a Tory shill till he dies, or a quiet reformer? Calls them amateurs and blowing it to them, calls them amateurs and blowing it to them praise the year for his speech on political violence. Peter B is not really wedded to anything, to be honest with you. All this. It's one thing I'm getting really fed up with on Twitter. Just every time Peter B says something, like, to me it's really obvious he's trying to troll reformers, so I don't fall for it a lot of the time. But I do reply to him sometimes if I think he's being a bit silly, like when he said he'd rather vote Burnham. But like his criticisms of reform are just, they need to get this stuff in order, because, you know, when Walls of Westminster was regular and he was on, it's something that we'd always agree with in the end. Just, yeah, reform needs to do way better. I'm sort of the good cop with that. Peter B's the bad cop. I don't think he really cares either way which right-wing government gets in, but he just wants it to be good, and he doesn't think either are particularly good. So, there you go. The governor has been abolished. In the next election, each town will elect its own mayor, as the rest of Swordland. And now you, Miss Graff, have complete control over the region's security. As I should, Miss Mogner. I'm the Minister of Interior, after all. The Bloodish community is furious about the situation. You're fueling tensions, Mr. President. The guy in charge was a racist. What the frick? What are your concerns, then? Really, Mr. President? Has Pinface lost his momentum? I think he has. I think we should just move on. They stood up. I have important updates about the increasing tensions on the streets. We're getting reports of more and more demonstrations against the government, some having potentially becoming violent. Carl and I are watching the situation closely. The Security Committee of the Assembly is working on draft law that will help strengthen our internal security in the time of crisis. I've been following their work, and I truly believe they've done an exemplary job with this. Mr. Holstron, who has been working for this for quite some time, has made some great arguments for the bill. Go on, what's in the bill? First, it aims to grant the necessary authority to the police force on the ground to enable quick and decisive responses in situations where public security is at risk. It will also remove several legal limits that were prescribed for the forces, allowing them to function more efficiently. Sounds good. Are you serious? You are clearly not seeing the threats, Lilias sighed. In any case, this is all from me about the security bill. They both stood up. We'll keep it brief. I think that will be all for our internal affair update. They gathered their documents. See you later, Mr. President. They took their entourage and left the room. Simon came in shortly after. Mr. President, who's the Vice President today? I don't know. Have you seen him? Not lately. Simon's expression remained unchanged and he sat down. I just wanted to provide you with a few updates on the economy. The government budget is currently healthy enough that we don't need to worry about introducing new tax measures, especially since tourism in Swordland is on the rise. Investment in cultural preservation paid off, it seems. I hope the increased threat of BFF won't damper that. Increased what? Have a talk with Lilias. There was a knock on the door and Gus walked in. Mr. President, Simon. Some excitement around the palace lately, I've heard. Real excitement is yet to come, believe me. Consider my breath baited. Anyway, you both know how revitalizing the Gruni region has always been a pet project of sorts. Well, I'm saddened to say that despite my ministry's best efforts, we're going to have to close the book on this project. Close the books? Mr. Bengal, what does that mean? Gus sighed. It means that without a massive injection of funding, the economic growth I had hoped to see in the region is simply not going to happen during the term. Could have been a beacon of success for Swordland is turning into a cesspool of crime, unemployment, and homelessness. My turn to Grunny. You can't just give up. I know how much Grunny means to you. Not just me, Mr. President. It is the breadbasket of the nation. I still believe it's brimming with untapped potential. It saddens me to no end to see it go to waste. Try to calm down, Gus. The President makes decisions on behalf of the entire country, and not only your home region. The doors to White Room opened, and David made his way in. Oh, hello, gentlemen. I'm early again, aren't I? Not to worry, Mr. Visky. We'll just wrap things up here. Peacebeers are great. Why do you have all these leaflets in your cabinet? What leaflets? Peter B has a great analysis. Oh, lefties. Because I'm the centrist party, so I'm going to have both righties and lefties. My military guy's basically a man who wants to crush bloodish skulls. Like I've got proper reactionaries as well. Peter B's great analysis. He just doesn't apply context to reform. I mean, as I say, every time we're in a podcast, and even in the backstages, I am always like, you're really harsh on reform. Like a lot of your analysis is good, but like you are really harsh on them. And I get part of it's to say, you know, do better in a really harsh way, but you know, one thing I remember is when he said how the local elections were a failure, and I'm like, well, we had to contend with London and Scotland, so I'm not buying that. And he conceded straight away. Peter B's problem is that when he's on talk and things like that, he's not really with people that will push back in that way, which is why I need to get on TV, really. But anyway, let's carry on. Simon and Gus rose from their seats and left the room. After the doors closed, David regarded me for a second. His blue eyes seemed to see right through me. My ministry was notified about the Rumborgian infiltrator. This is a very delicate situation, Anton. What's delicate? They sent a sex spy and they have to answer for it. Well, they were precarious enough before. Please understand, tensions between Swordland and Rumborg have not eased. In fact, quite the contrary. As you might imagine, our decision to grant asylum to the whistleblower, Mr. Hailstone, did not sit well. An incident such as this might serve as a tipping point. Place too much blame on Rumborg and we may lose our chance at reconciliation. Last thing we want is a war. And compromise is the name of the greater good may spare countless lives. I'll leave you to it, Anton. I know you've got a lot on your plate. Great. Thank you, have a good day. David left the White Room, gently closing the door. Come on, man. Oh, I'm an idiot. Immediate BFF threat alarming. Oh my god! Get the army into Bergia and just stamp them out. Jeez. Starts new season with a flourish. Early match fuel optimism. Oh, well, that's some good news. United, Contana discovers Arcasian base in Polaris. Oh, God. What are we doing here, man? Press release for the affair. This is gonna be good. This morning of Olivia's trial, hordes of reporters were gathered in front of the state courthouse. I stood by the entrance. Lucian had helped break the news of my secretary's arrest. Now the media was beginning to question exactly how Rumborg agents had been able to infiltrate the Maroon Palace. Time for me to deliver an explanation. The podium with a bank of microphones awaited us on the courthouse steps. Peter looked uncertain, and I had told him I would be doing all the talking today. Remember what we talked about, Mr. President. How could I forget? I was about to blame my best friend for a scandal that would otherwise shatter my administration. Peter hadn't said a word to me since I broke the news to him in my office. Well, he's a moron. Sorry, like, I just don't have much sympathy. Together we step behind the podium, reporters cluster around us. Thank you for coming. As you were aware, Ilian Vance, the Rumborg spy posed as my secretary, is currently on trial for espionage. Rest assured the traitor shall be brought to justice. However, the fact remains that she should never have been allowed to infiltrate our administration. The fact remains she should have never been allowed to access sensitive government information. I'll do the first one. That she did can be directly traced to the carelessness of one man. She did so by exploiting... carelessness. He was a moron. Journalist Gaspin murmured. Peter turned to face me, his mouth hanging open. Mr. Vector's willingness to put his own infantile desires over Swordland's security has made him a threat to the state. Mr. Vector's recklessness says nothing of his betrayal of Swordish values and has disgraced my administration. We'll do the old values speech. Vice President shall be trialled for his shameful action. The Vice President has tendered his resignation effective immediately. The clamour of reporters was growing louder. Peter seemed to shrink behind the podium, his charisma failing him at last. That's it then. No going back from this. The reporters were becoming hard to ignore. One woman in the front row looked particularly insistent. Mr. Vector! I'll be answering all the questions, thank you very much. President Rain, you're implying Mr. Vector and the covert agent posing as your secretary were engaged in an intimate relation? Yes, and that wasn't the only such affair. I'm not putting him in the poo any more than he is. Yes. Were you aware of this when it was happening? No. Lucian interjected. Neither the President nor Vice President will be taking any more questions. Thank you. The reporter reluctantly dispersed. Lucian, Peter and I looked at each other in what seemed like an eternity, and Peter lowered his eyes. Yes, I'll go to the palace and start packing my things then. I'll come with you. Peter shook his head. I watched him descend the courthouse steps in the car alone. Shame about your friend, Mr. President, but it appears you will make it out of this unscathed. Of course, there's now the matter of replacing both your Secretary and Vice President. I have a few candidates in mind. Very good, sir. Go back to the stairs to the courthouse to watch the rest of the trial. Oh, isn't that good? Can we please just improve the economy? Rumborg infiltrated, President Secretary arrested, President Secretary arrested for treason, Rainpin spy scandal, blame on Vector, and oh my god, I hate left-wing newspapers. Do you hear that, dog? How long have we got? 5 minutes? Yeah, we'll just do the women's rights, whatever. I was sitting in my office and I looked at the clock. 2:26 PM. It's almost time for my appointment with Chiara on women's rights. Oh, she's so annoying. There was a knock at the door. Chiara entered the room from folders in her hand. The door did not close behind her. A Monica entered the room and stood next to Chiara. Mr. President. Anton. Before we start, I just wanted to thank you for agreeing to this meeting. I've been dreaming about this ever since I volunteered with the Swordish League of Women. Can't believe the moment's finally here. I think both of you could bring change to Swordland. I hope you're right. Chiara sat down in the chair and laid the folder she was holding. We still have a long way to go before Swordish women are able to enjoy the same rights and privileges as men, or even their counterparts in Arcasia and United Cortana. We've been lagging behind this for decades, Anton. And this isn't only a moral issue. I've seen enough revolutions in the world to understand the main driver of any change. Money. She flipped a folder open and started pulling out documents. In United Cortana, law dictates that women earn the same wage as men in their respective fields. Ugh. In my problem with that, again, I said this in my video literally today. Same field, dependent on experience. Like, if women just happen to be earning less money in a particular field or, you know, company or whatever, there could be thousands of reasons for that. Now in Swordland, because it's the 50s, there probably is explicit discrimination, fine, and that's probably what they're talking about, but the lazy language here is what bothers me because I know what comes in 2020. My research shows that this led to a 15.5% increase in productivity. You could say it had a direct influence on the superpower status. Arcasia passed laws ensuring maternity leave, child daycare centres and tax deductions for working families. In return, they experienced a 12% productivity boost and a flourishing economy. Both countries have also significantly lower infant mortality rates, a statistic I believe is directly linked to improved status of women. Our administration has failed to pull Swordland out of economic recession. So I'm asking, why not try passing similar laws? At worst, even if they fail to improve the economy, it's still a significant step forward for society. It's only logical. I'm like completely convinced here, by the way. This is fine. The two of us talked it over, and these are the measures we believe most urgently needed. Criminalise domestic violence, support working mothers, equal treatment in the workforce, gender equality in public education. Treatment in the workforce? That's an easy one. Right now, Swordland has one of the continent's largest pay gaps between men and women. We need legislation ensuring women doing the same jobs as men is paid the same wage. Again, caveats to that, unfortunately, but in principle, yes. If you're doing the exact same, if you're working in a shop and you stack shelves, go on the tills, that's all part of the job, fine. If it's things like professional jobs dependent on experience, like accountants, say, then yeah, it's way more complex. We'd also introduce quotas to get more women in positions of power, in the Assembly, for instance, or the Board of Corporations. No! Eventually, narrowing the pay gap is a far more pressing issue, and it would bring financial independence to countless lower-income women. Chiara will never talk about this, but I always thought that with more women in power, higher status for all women would naturally follow. Women are starving because they don't make a living wage. That's a damn sight more important than your friend Janice being passed over for promotion. Quotas seem far easier to implement. Quotas are a terrible idea. People should be hard on merits, not simply because of their sex. Yeah, sorry, wifey. Men are hired on the basis of their sex all the time, just not consciously. There are more than enough qualified women to fill positions you can think of. It's up to us to give them opportunity. Domestic violence. Shouldn't have to tell you how crucial this is. It is utterly unbelievable that in this day and age, Scottish men are legally allowed to beat their wives. Has this actually ever been true, by the way? In Britain, specifically, because this is something that always comes up and I've never found any evidence of it. It could be true, but it sounds like one of those things that's just too ridiculous to believe. Like in say like the medieval times, it's just completely legal to beat your wife black and blue. I just don't believe it. What are you saying there? 25 to 26 combined local elections saw reform at 31 to 2%. The party's only been serious for 2 years. It's a crazy achievement. Yeah, I said that's BAB. Yes, that's a travesty. I'm happy we're on the same page. As oh my god, I can't read. As incidences are especially high within Bloodish communities, I would advocate for setting up a special domestic violence task force in collaboration with Bloodish women's rights organisations. Monica looked so strangely. Are you saying that's something we ought to focus on? The Bloods are different and have their own rules. Monica, I am surprised at you. We can't let women suffer under patriarchy, no matter their ethnicity. Interfering in Bloodish matters has landed us in enough hot water already. The Bloods must conform to Swordish law. I'm still not criminalising domestic violence is a good idea for the Bloods or anyone. Well, yeah, the Bloods must conform. We can discuss the particulars once the law is passed. What about working mothers? Oh, it's simply not fair that women in the workforce are punished for having children. Remember what I told you about Janice, my friend who basically got fired for becoming pregnant? That would never happen to a man. Paid maternity leave and state-subsidised daycare centres could be key to keeping more mothers employed. I don't want to reward women for choosing work over raising their children. It's true, having children has hindered my career prospects. I shouldn't hinder a woman either. Yeah, we'll go with that. Again, I'm fine with maternity leave. It's good. Right, gender equality in public education. You know how much this means to me, and you've witnessed the dangers firsthand. The way girls are shut out of real education unless their parents have the means to get them out of public school system. It's only bright minds lost. I want entirely to mean the old system, Chiara. Diana still loves her handcraft classes. I'm not saying we take those away. Maybe boys should learn handcrafts too. Monica burst out laughing. Imagine Frank in an apron. Yes, I'm with Chiara on this. Good, we see eye to eye. That covers all subjects. What are your thoughts? You make a good case. Thank you. I'll pull this off before the election. The Reign administration will make history. Let's talk about how to proceed. I want to establish a commission of women's rights in Swordland, with me at its head. Our goal shall be passing and implementing a set of laws to solve the problem we just discussed. As the commission spokeswoman, my responsibility will be to make speeches and organise fundraisers. I will be the face of this movement while Chiara handles the groundwork. I can ensure the First Lady is behind this movement. Many women will feel encouraged. Chiara gestured down at her outfit, especially those that aren't keen on pantsuits. The organisation's name will be Commission on the Status of Women. What you need, I'll run it past the Assembly. Even if that's successful, you need the Commission to ensure laws are successfully implemented, and convince the public changes will be beneficial. Mr. President, I know we've had friction in the past, but this has nothing to do with the failed education reform. This is a completely separate topic and it should be handled as such. One more thing to consider before making your decision. This could help silence any public lingering questions regarding your former Vice President and the Leviasuno affair. Monica lowered her voice. Antoine, I'm not completely naive. I know what we're proposing would have its downsides, but every time I look at our daughter, I think about how I'd do anything to grant her a better future. I know you would too, even if you might not. I hope you'll make the right decision. We both do. Chiara was looking studiously at a scratch on my desk. She blinked and turned back to us. It's right, Mr. President. They rose on their seats, took a few minutes to think. I'll approve the creation of the commission. But it's fine. It's fine. That's all the excitement you can muster? You did it. We did it. Monica and Chiara hoped. She smiled uncomfortably. Not over yet, Monica. The usual battle is in the assembly. We'll celebrate when that's over with. We'll start gathering names for the commission tonight. She and Monica headed toward the door. Monica paused before leaving. Whatever our differences, I'm glad you were able to set aside and act for the good of Swordish women. I'll see you at home. I could hear Monica and Chiara talking excitedly to each other as the door closed. I looked out my window over the city, and it was a clear day outside. Yes, I saw we lost TonyTiger, unfortunately, which I'm mad about. So thank God I played this instead of watching us lose. Labour needed World War II and 2 decades to win the ballot box. Reformer there now. I did okay. Well, okay, I'll take that. Oh my God, that's taking forever. Right, new Vice President. I'm just going to do Lucian. I really like Lucian. It was here, the day I'd been dreading since Peter's resignation. At the entrance to my office, my new secretary, Sylvia, took my hat and coat. She was a matronly woman in her 40s, and she had a spotless background assisting various Marine Palace officials, which is what we should have had in the first place. Replacing Olivia had been easy, but replacing the Vice President would be difficult. Swordish law dictated that if a Vice President failed to complete his term, new candidates would be put forward by members of the Cabinet. After much deliberation, the list had been narrowed down to 3. Lucian, Gloria, and Albin Calvin. He's a member of the US. Right, that's not the guy I'm thinking of. It was up to me to decide who would fill Peter's shoes, and I wanted to chat with them one by one before making a decision. I just began to settle at my desk when I heard a knock at the door. Lucian entered and perched on the chair across from me. Sir. You know why you're here. I do. In my current capacity as Chief Strategist, I have evaluated the experience and capabilities of your potential Vice President. Objectively, I am by far the most qualified candidate. I would advise you not only to think about our long history together, but also the many crises I have helped shepherd you through. I won't say much beyond that. I believe my work speaks for itself. But you're such a good strategist. Vice President, my ability to serve you in this administration will only increase. I expect you will make the right decision. He's just going to be my pick, by the way, but we'll listen to Gloria anyway. Margaret Thatcher voice. Mr. President, I must say I was not surprised at all when my name was put forward. You seem confident. I am, Mr. President. To put it simply, what I bring to the table is years of experience. I've been a member of the Assembly for almost 20 years, and I spent 7 as its Speaker. This alone speaks for itself. And as you know, I am the only spokesperson of the party, as well as the leader of the Conservative wing. You can see what I'm getting at. Your experience will be a great asset. Experience is always important, and so is being able to rally the Assembly's Conservative voters to your side. This would allow us to pass bills far more easily, especially if those bills are aligned with my bloc's causes. I simply can't forget that you worked against our constitutional reforms. I don't think we're aligned. I'll think about it. I want you to know that I value order over anything else, Mr. President. Being Speaker of the Assembly requires principles, nerves, and steel and determination to uphold proper conduct. You can expect to see the same from my Vice Presidency. Being a woman could also be advantageous. Not just any woman. A strong woman who is able to help protect order in a room full of unruly men for 7 years. Think about the message it would send. First woman Vice President of Swordland. No, the first woman Vice President in the whole continent. What support you would lose among traditionalists, you would gain tenfold among Swordish women. Is that ever true? Ugh. The second half we blew it after switching defensive. Why did we go defensive? That's stupid. That'll be all for now, thank you. Thank you. I wish you a nice day, Mr. President. Gloria made her way out. A minute later, there was another knock on the door and it was Alvin Clavin. Greetings, Mr. President. It's a great honour to have been chosen as a candidate. Really terrific. Let's talk. As you know, I represent the reformist wing of the party. What Sutherland needs today is not only to catch up with more modern neighbours, but surpass them. I believe we can do that. No, I am sure. However, it will only be possible if we set aside our differences and unite as one. That is the outlook I wish to bring the position of Vice President, so that Sutherland can excel and soar to new heights. Well, what can you provide me with? Very well, the fact is, if I'm Vice President, reformist members of our party will be more likely to support you and your causes. This will smooth the passage of bills, help move our administration and our country forward in record time. That makes sense. Now, what this country needs more is a more dynamic, youthful leadership. Look at you, President Haryan. You became the youngest member of the Assembly and completely rejuvenated Scottish politics, and I want to do the same. We need to be able to take risks and make gains that is only possible with forward-looking perspective. Not that you might have forgotten, but I would also like to remind you that you promised me a position in exchange for my support in the Assembly. He's got me there. I suppose I should honour that. I'm a man of my word. I always took you for a man of honour. Trust your judgment. Thank you, I'll consider what you said. Thank you, Mr. President. I could hear Peter's voice in my head laughing at the absurdity of my situation, but he wasn't there. Come on, man. Right, we'll leave the selection till next week. Actually, no, I won't, because I know what will happen. I will forget who all of these people are, and we are going to have to go Albin, I'm afraid. Lucian's still a strategist, and I respect him greatly, and would love him as Vice President, but we'll have to go Albin, because I think I'm going to do a few conservative things that I need him on side for, so yeah, we'll have to go Albin. And nothing changed. Right. But that was over 2 hours, so we will leave it there. Do not make promises. I already did. I literally already did. Like, I can't get out of it. And that's a promise I don't particularly mind. The problem is that I didn't think he would end up in the Vice President position. It was very annoying he got nominated. I couldn't really pass him over, and to be honest, I don't think he'll be the worst person to have on anyway, because I'm really good at annoying the reformist wing. So yeah, it's a calculated manoeuvre. Anyway, with that I will leave it there. Videos as and when I can make them. Laughing at the Guardians in 2 weeks. I'll return with this in a week. And I'll probably lose the next election, so it's probably going to be a short game of Suzerain. I told you this before. I know you did, and I stopped making promises after that. But I can't not honour one. So there we go. One that I already made. Anyway. With that, subscribe, super chats, what have you. Thank you, GooseSpringsteen, for your generous donations. Until next time, I suppose, I will say thank you for watching.